Why do people argue about God and religions? Part 2. This is the part 2 of the topic we started yesterday, January the 1st, 2026. Title: Why do people argue about God and religions? Uh, Sorry for those who may have viewed uh, the first video I made this morning, but later I observed that I had too many errors in that video, so I took it out and I'm remaking this one. So in this continuation of this topic, why do people argue about God and religions, we will be looking at his different manifestations. So just so people will follow the trend, that's what I titled this video I'm making right now to be why do people argue about God and religions. But the actual title supposed to be God's presence on earth and dealing with humanity. That's supposed to be the real title, but I want people to keep trend of the main story. So this subtopic that we call God's presence on earth and dealing with humanity, it has several parts. So 2 parts rather. So I will be dealing with just part 1 right here in this video today. Then tomorrow I will continue to part 2. But this part 1 is also having 2 subparts. So we will call the first part the A part. So on this main topic, God visited other races without explaining his work in detail. That is part 1 on the topic God, what we call God's presence on earth and dealing with humanity, which falls on why do people argue about God and religions. So God visited other races without explaining his work in detail. The A part of that is he visited the half-clean people called the Middle Easterners in 2 forms to reveal 2 different things. God's spirit visited the Middle Eastern people. Now, God will call the Middle Eastern people, generally will call the Arab people, he will put them in the category of the human race that is called half-clean people. Half-clean people. But the reason they are distinct here, we call them the Arab breed of humankind or the Middle Easterners, is that they came from one man who God chose to use to discuss human creation. And that man is called Noah. So Noah's genealogy covers all the people classified as the Middle Easterners, the Arab group of people. And remember, the first group of people God took, that we know about in this world, we say the Bible came from, who are the children of God, they are also part of this Middle East. Remember, Abraham came from a village named Ur, which in today's mapping is located in the present day Iraq, according to history. If you go and Google and pull Ur, You put it there, it will tell you it's in present-day Iraq. But that's the village that Abraham came from, according to biblical history. I was not alive. So that means Abraham's children, we today call the children of God, are part of the Middle Easterners. Let's be clear about that. So God visited the Middle Eastern people to reveal two things. The first thing was that he arrested the first person from the Middle Easterners, and we know him to be Abraham. The purpose was to use Abraham as the first human being to whom God will bring a generation that will talk about heavenly life. How heaven looks like and how God's way of life really looks like. That which he expected mankind to exhibit in the world. But unfortunately, it did not happen because of the breakaway that took place in the same spiritual world, that which has an effect on the physical. The reason we have opposing forces, we have good and bad in this world. It all started from the spirit realm that is in the physical. So the first thing God revealed was having a way of life, his way of life, which is also, being confused with the way of life of his children who ran away from him. That which we have two spiritual kings in the spirit realm. God being king of the good, and the other man we know about, we call him so many names, Satan, devil, and his other agents, we call them demons and all of that. These are two words, spiritual powers that still manifest in the physical and have control over us. So the first thing God was doing was to reveal that heavenly word. And that is what is called Christianity. Then he sent his angel Gabriel to the next door neighbor of the first family of him, God, that he revealed heavenly life to. So he went to Saudi Arabia. Angel Gabriel was sent to Saudi Arabia to arrest somebody they call Abraham, to whom God revealed cultural ways of life that which should have been put in the Bible as well, so that these two things will be studied by Christians, so that they will know the ways of the spirit that ran away from heaven, and they will know his ways. And these things, no matter what we do, no matter how Christian we are, the cultural ways of the spirits still have effect on us, because every group of people in this world, regardless you are Christian, you still have cultures that you exhibit. The food you eat, the taboos you have. You can't eat this food. You can't do this. Your language you speak. All these things came from the spirits that started the world before God even came to arrest Abraham. Remember, Abraham's father were worshiping idols. So what the Bible later called the idols were the spirits that started the world. So don't confuse yourself. No matter how Christian you are, we still say we are this tribe. We are this tribe. We are this group of people. And each of us have different ways of doing things. In fact, marriages were different in the world according to each tribe. God's way is just one, universal. But why we have these different divisions is because of the ways of his children who ran away from him and started impacting mankind. Even before God came to man to introduce himself and reveal himself that he is the father of them. So you have cultural ways of life revealed to Muhammad that should have been in the Bible, and you have Christianity, which is having a way of life of God that is the original. Unfortunately, some conflict came between the first children of God that received his first word and the second children of the same God. And all of them come from one father. We talk about Noah, genealogy. So be it you are Saudi or you are the Iraqi, where Abraham came from, they are the same father's children. God has a purpose of using them. We will come to that in the future. This is just a short video. That's why we can go into all of the details. So many things to be talked about when you covering these things. Then God left from there. The big part of this is God left from there and visited the clean people called the Europeans and revealed to them many other things. Notably, there is a detailed information that was given to them, to a European man called Joseph Smith, who founded the Mormon church called Latter-day Saints as well. In the Latter-day Saints teaching, they talk about our pre-elf existence, meaning where we lived before we became physical people, physical humans. That story is there, but that story that the Mormon people, the Joseph Smith who founded the Mormon church received, it is also in the Bible, in the book of Genesis, except that the first family, the first people did not understand it, so they misinterpreted it, and that's why we have it teaching differently. And that's why people have not understood it. Still, something special is found in the teachings of the Jehovah's Witnesses about where the new world will be. That is still European people God was using to reveal things that were in or are in the first book, which we now call the Bible, but were not and still have not been understood. God is still revealing details. Even though each set of teaching reveals some truth about what the first family received from God, there has been both religious Christian against Islam and denominational church against church conflicts in the world. And this is what this ministry is here to explain in detail. My name is Paul Tasler. I am a Liberian-born U.S. citizen living here in Sacramento, bringing you this story. Bye-bye for now.